It's just been over about 2 weeks since we got our last leak regarding a ton of information regarding how the vehicles would work in Starfield. And now we have some really exciting gameplay footage leaked of the vehicle in action within Starfield. To me, this looks like a very legitimate leak. However, you never know with AI these days, but I'm definitely leaning that this is probably 95% actual gameplay leak of the vehicle, and it's even better than what I was expecting. However, Bethesda have been remarkably quiet on this whole matter, whether it be Shattered Space, release dates. The whole thing has been wrapped up in secrecy, and all we have are these little crumbs. And this particular crumb is probably going to be what I'm expecting to be an update coming within the next 2 weeks, or at least within August. Now that's speculation, and we'll wait and see. And why would I give any credence to a possible vehicle launch in August? Well, Bethesda have quietly been releasing some stealth updates into probably their dev branch, the testing branch. But if you head over to SteamDB, particularly when it comes to the Orange branch, there is a speculation that the Orange branch is related to the Shattered Space DLC, and you'll be able to reference and take note of that, particularly 4 days ago where we got a huge amount of changes under the Orange branch. But all this to me looks like it is leading and gearing up for a release in August. So I'm keeping my eye on this. If we get any major movements or hints, I will definitely report it, but something is cooking. We know the DLC is coming. I suspect we start off with a bang with an awesome release showing off this crazy vehicle we're going to take a look at. Now, for those of you that might have missed the original leak on vehicles where we got some insight into how it will actually function within the game, I'll just quickly fill you in. Roughly 2 weeks ago, we got one simple screenshot of the vehicle. Since then, speculations have been flying of how it will perform, whether it be necessary, fun. Everything's been up for debate. Some of the key things to note is that the leak that came with that picture also mentioned that the next update will include the vehicle, that there's going to be 2 variations of the vehicle that potentially have weapons, that there'll probably be a paid and free version of the vehicle, and probably one of the main points that everyone was always wondering is how will the vehicle spawn? Will it be on your ship or on the ground when you land on a planet? This leak addressed that by saying it will spawn outside the vehicle. That is going to introduce a whole ton of problems with modded ships, but we'll see how it is implemented. Now it also goes through some more details, but I'll leave that for you to cover and read yourself. At the top right, you'll see a little link. You can click on that video update. But that's just a really quick rundown. We got a picture and some basic understanding of how the vehicle will function and perform within the game. Well, this brings us to the new leak, where we actually get to see the vehicle in all its glory in leaked gameplay footage. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the footage. Now, you're going to have to bear in mind the footage is an extremely low resolution. I'm going to mix the footage up a bit with showing you the very original footage, let you watch that. Then we're going to break it down, and I'm going to show some of the rather bad attempts at trying to upscale it because it is just so, as it's such a low resolution footage. We're going to look at the sources and where this has all come about. With all that said, I was very pleasantly surprised, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. However, we're going to jump into the source, or the apparent source of this leak, which is still be determined. It's very early days trying to track down the original post, whether it's in a private 4chan or wherever it is. It's hard to locate. However, we have an anonymous drop. This could be the original, still not certain, but this was roughly 1 day and 5 hours ago. So this is looking probably like the source, potentially. Let me know in the comments if you found the source link. I'll put all these links that we cover in the description as well, so you can check it out. So we can see here, it is another leak from 4chan, which we know to be quite credible with all the leaks that we've seen within the Starfield history. Now, if we jump over to Twitter, we'll see that we've had, from what I can see, one of the first leaks of this onto Twitter could be around the 17-hour mark. There may be earlier ones, but hard to determine. But I think this is the main place where a lot of people have seen the footage. Now, having it a lower resolution like this, it does make it a bit easier to watch it on your phone. So you might want to try that. So at the moment, we don't really know who has leaked it, but it's just come from 4chan and it's been shared on Twitter, Reddit, you name it. You can probably find it now. So let's actually jump in and have a look at the footage. We'll watch it in a small resolution, and then we'll watch it in a bigger resolution. I'll play it through just so you guys can watch it without any commentary, and then we're going to break this down and have a closer look at it.
Hold on tight! Hold on tight!
So the first mod we need is to change the steering wheel over to the right side like any normal person would have their vehicle. Only kidding. But isn't this remarkable? So let's take a closer look and kind of break this down a little bit. Now again, bear in mind the resolution is pretty average. Now within the first 10 seconds, just as we get to this ridge, there is some stuttering or loading. To me, this means the vehicle is quite fast. I say that because it's trying to render in the environment as it's moving quite quickly. It is trying to kind of catch up with the vehicle. So I don't think this is going to be as slow as what some people might think. This to me looks very reasonable, quite fast. The other first thing to note is the gravity of it coming over that first mound. These jumps are going to be wildly crazy on, say, something like a moon where you could be, 0.1 gravity or 0.4, whatever the lowest gravity is. You could be sending yourself flying. The other thing we can note is that we have commentary from the other companions or some companions when we're in the vehicle. So that's another huge plus. And this other section is by far the most important section of this whole video clip, is when we come up to this other hill and we basically boost jetpack up, which is incredible. So this is going to give us the means of actually getting over most of the different terrains within Starfield. I mean, look how much air he got off that jump. It's huge. So that amount of boost on a low grav planet, you are going to get launched. So this is really exciting because this is going to be a lot of fun. Now, instantly when I watch this, I really hope we get enemies in vehicles as well. I'd love to see new points of interest, a new way of experiencing vehicles where you'd actually have enemies chase you down. I mean, with this, we could have mods where we could have races. I mean, the sky's going to be the limit with this. Now, what they don't show us is basically how it breaks or like, does it drift in terms of, turning corners. We also don't get any insight into the weapons, but we do have what looks like potentially maybe 2 weapons. We have 100 down on the bottom right. We have 100 and 100. Now, I'm not sure if that's the vehicle's health or what that might be. Let me know in the comments what you think it is. But we can clearly see the boost bar getting charged and then getting used as it boosts over that hill. So that boost bar definitely to me looks like we're going to have a vehicle perk system where you'll be able to upgrade and get a better boost, a longer boost. And we're going to have mods that are going to make that basically unlimited. So imagine boosting around with unlimited boost on a vehicle just right now. It'd be incredible fun to get around like that. So we really do get a lot of different details. So you can see that we go through a lot of the different smaller shrubbery. I really like that. We can also see that there are some of the smaller rocks that may not necessarily register too much, but at the same time, it does look like the terrain on this particular planet has a lot of feedback for the most part. In terms of more of the terrain, less a little bit with some of the rocks. So some of these finer details would be nice to see if we could actually, charge this vehicle into a rock, what would happen. And I'm guessing with this huge height and landing, the vehicle clearly tips over. So I wonder when it flips over, will we be ejected out or will we be sitting down? So there's still so many questions, but this gives us a really good idea, at least what we can at least sort of get to speculate and see that it is actually functioning, working. And to me, this is way better than what I was ever expecting it to be. Particularly with the boost functionality, we're going to be able to launch and get ourselves in get over some really tricky situations. But it does make you wonder, okay, so we're in a forest biome. How's it going to work if we boost up and we land on a bunch of trees? So lots and lots of questions. There's so many different terrains this vehicle's going to have to manage. Now, maybe they'll have basically a new category when you land on planets where it will say a vehicle can be used, yes or no. And that might be how they sort of circumvent that whole problem. They'll just say, yes, this planet can have the vehicle, some planets can't. Obviously, mods will deviate from that, but this to me looks like a lot of fun. It's definitely going to give a whole new meaning of getting around the planets. We just need now a lot more points of interest, different points of interest, reconfigured points of interest. Ideally, procedurally generated points of interest would be ideal. Now, I know we don't get a lot of detail in terms of the terrain and everything with this low resolution. If I do find a better quality one, we may revisit this again. Now, unfortunately, we don't get any of the view in the third person. It's only in first. However, we can note that we do get the horn. So there is a horn with this, which is pretty cool. I'm sure we'll get some custom mods for the horn noises. So a lot of cool stuff like that. Some other questions I have is like, can you eject out of the vehicle? Is the vehicle indestructible? What happens when a grenade launcher hits your vehicle? Will you go flying? But at least initially, the whole interaction with gravity and the forces of nature on this vehicle seem terrific. So it's really, really exciting. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think about this. I see a lot of potential here, particularly with mods. Now, we do need to note that our companions won't be able to drive the vehicle, at least initially. This may change. Who knows down the track what will happen. The other thing that I could notice is that when you do get boost and you land, it doesn't seem to be taking any health. So that's something we can note. And we can also see that this is an open cabin, sort of like your Warthog. And that's what we need. We basically need a Warthog. Would be awesome if a companion could jump on the back with a minigun or some kind of weapon and take out some creatures. That would be really fun. So where this could go is pretty much unlimited depending on how this is all managed in the back end. But this looks like we have so much potential to play around with this, and the legendary modders will make this a masterpiece. Now, the clip is only about 28 seconds, but it does give us a lot of information. Again, let me know what you think. What would you like to see? How would you like this to sort of be better implemented? What did you notice? What did I miss? But yeah, I'm really excited to see this, and this pretty much sums up the last update for the vehicle. There is one more thing I just wanted to touch on, which will bring me to the final update that will pretty much bring you up to speed with everything that we kind of understand with Starfield right now. And that is, we pretty much got the leak that the second DLC, scheduled pretty much for next year, is already in the works and has been trademarked. And apparently the second DLC after Shattered Space is going to be called Starborn. So they're not leaving this game anytime soon. So that's really important and imperative to note, because that could mean, by that time, what is this game going to be like? It's probably going to be unrecognizable. But that pretty much covers all the updates, the leak. If you got anything out of this, please consider liking, subscribing. It goes a long way. It helps me out a ton. I'll keep you posted on any future updates. If you like Starfield and Starfield mods, definitely check out the channel. We'll cover a lot of the mods on Starfield. Thanks very much for your time. Peace.